Please subscribe, like, and share. It really helps us out. And of course, if you have any questions, comment below, and we will answer you as soon as we can. Welcome to our series on student study tips. In today's video, we are going to be looking at how to take effective notes, and we will review our favorite technique, called the Cornell Note-Taking Method. If you haven't seen our previous videos, click on the card above.
Note-taking is one of the most important activities for students. There are a variety of reasons for it, but we only want to highlight the most important one here. Taking notes will help you recall information that would otherwise be lost. But taking notes the right way isn't as easy as it sounds. It isn't simply about jotting down everything that you hear. Taking notes is about summarizing core concepts as precisely as possible in your own words. One thing that most successful students have in common is that they use a specific note-taking method. A note-taking method will help you to prepare before the lecture and to review key concepts after a class. It will help you to stay focused during the lecture, to pay attention and actively participate. It will help you to organize your notes properly so that you don't have to worry about losing the overview once you get back to them to prepare for an exam. In this video, we give an overview of the best note-taking methods for college students, on how to apply each, and when you should, or shouldn't use one. Of course, this guide will also come in handy if you're not a college student but want to improve the way you take your notes. Let's dive in.
The outline method is one of the best and most popular note-taking methods for college students. It lets you organize your notes in a structured form, helping you save a lot of time for further reviewing and editing. As the name suggests, this method requires you to structure your notes in form of an outline by using bullet points to represent different topics and their subtopics. Start writing main topics on the far left of the page and add related subtopics in bullet points below using indents. This method can be used in a variety of situations but works best if the lecture or class follows a relatively clear structure. What are the pros for this method? Highlights the key points of the lecture in a logical way. Ease of use allows the students to focus. Reduces their reviewing and editing time. Gives a proper and clean structure to your notes. But what are the cons? Not suitable for subjects like chemistry and math that comprise of formulas and charts. It doesn't work well if the attended lecture doesn't follow a certain structure.
Next is the Cornell method of note-taking. It is a unique note-taking method that finds its application in a variety of situations. What differentiates it from other methods is the page layout. The page is divided into 3 or 4 sections, starting from one row at the top for title and date, and one at the bottom, along with 2 columns in the center. 30% of which should be kept in the left column, while the remaining 70% for the right column. All notes from the class go into the main note-taking column. The smaller column on the left side is for comments, questions, or hints about the actual notes. After the lecture, you should take a moment to summarize the main ideas of the page in the section at the bottom, which will speed up your reviewing and studying process immensely. The best part is that many people already remember and digest the information while they write a summary like this. The Cornell method is ideal for all types of lectures or even meetings. It is the method that we suggest using. What are the pros? A quicker way to take, review, and organize your notes. Summarizes all the information in a systematic manner. Helps in effective learning as it enables to absorb information in a shorter time. Helps you to extract main ideas. Cuts down the time for reviewing. But what are the cons? Pages need to be prepared before a lecture. Requires some time for reviewing and summarizing the key concepts.
Now let's look at the boxing method. This method might be still widely unknown but gains increasing popularity. All notes that are related to each other are grouped together in a box. A dedicated box is assigned for each section of notes, which cuts down the time needed for reading and reviewing. Digital note-taking apps for the iPad are especially helpful for this method because content on the page can be reordered or resized subsequently. That way, you can just write down notes as you would normally do and then reorder them afterward to assign them to particular boxes. Digital note-taking also allows you to zoom in on the page, which helps to focus on one topic at a time during the review. This method works best if you have a class or session that is split into different sections that are still related in a sense. What are the pros? Segregates and organizes your notes in the form of boxes. Lets you focus on one box at a time while reading. Helps you memorize the relation between notes in a visual way. Perfect for people that take notes on an iPad. But what are the cons? Not suitable for every lecture type. Doesn't work well if no overall topics can be assigned to a group of notes. Requires additional time to group the notes in the end or during the lecture.
Now, let's look at the charting method. It is an ideal method for notes that involve a lot of information in the form of facts and statistics that need to be learned by heart. The information will be organized in several columns, similar to a table or spreadsheet. Each column represents a unique category which makes the rows easily comparable. A great example of the charting method would be a summary of this video. This is also one of the most effective note-taking methods for college students when it comes to jotting down heavy content which includes stats and other information. It also works great when you want to cut down on the amount of time you spend on editing and reviewing during test time. We suggest using the method when you need to memorize a lot of information but don't recommend applying it during classes or lectures. Creating charts with the charting methods takes time. It makes sense to use this method when summarizing whole lectures as a preparation for exams or during intensive study sessions. What are the pros? Information is clearly structured. Fantastic for reviewing. Notes are easily comparable. A lot of information can be memorized rather quickly. But, what are the cons? Very time-consuming method. Barely makes sense to apply this method in a lecture or class where the content isn't clear beforehand. Doesn't work for information that can't easily be categorized.
When the lecture content is intense, the mapping method works best. It helps organize your notes by dividing them into branches, enabling you to establish relationships between the topics. Start with writing the main topic at the top of the map. Keep dividing it into subtopics on the left and right as you go down. This technique works best when the lecture content is heavy and you need to organize it in a structured and easy form. It can also be used when you have no idea about the content of the lecture to be presented. What are the pros? Visually appealing. Can be used for noting down detailed information but in a concise form. Allows easy editing of the notes. But what are the cons? While mapping your notes, you might run out of space on a single page. Can be confusing if the information is wrongly placed while taking notes.
There are many different ways of taking notes in school or at university. Some prefer to take a structured approach and use an outline method to take notes, some may prefer a visual way and draw mind maps, some may even use no structure at all. However, there is one note-taking technique that is superior to others in many cases, and science has proven that it is not only more efficient but also makes it a lot easier to review notes, for example when preparing for an exam. The technique we're referring to is called Cornell Note-Taking. It is a system for taking, organizing, and reviewing notes and has been devised by Professor Walter Pock of Cornell University in the 1950s.
It requires very little preparation, which makes it ideal for note-taking in class. The page will be divided into 4, or sometimes only 3, different sections, 2 columns, 1 area at the bottom of the page, and 1 smaller area at the top of the page. The idea behind this is very easy. All actual notes from the lecture go into the main note-taking column. The smaller column on the left side is for questions about the notes that can be answered when reviewing and keywords or comments that make the whole reviewing and exam preparation process easier. When reviewing the notes, a brief summary of every page should be written into the section at the bottom.
Besides being a very efficient way of taking great notes in class, Cornell Note-Taking is the perfect tip for exam preparation. Here's why. The system itself encourages you to reflect on your notes by actively summarizing them in their own words. Often, this can already be enough to remember study notes and to successfully pass an exam. When reviewing your notes, it's also useful to reorder objects on the page, for example, to add a solution to an answer on the side to the notes.
Thank you for watching our video. Please like, subscribe and share. And comment below so we can clarify things for you.